What is good, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. This is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans from a fan's perspective. My name is Kyle. This is episode 148. The Wednesday Night War is over. Who won? We are live on YouTube. Shout out TEW Wrestling Internet. I caught a little bit of your stream earlier. Congrats on hitting 80 subs, my man. Hyper Productions is in the chat. What is good? What is up, Downfall Wrestling? It is 1 a.m. in Ireland, and my man is hanging out in the live stream already tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to everybody who checked out the 3-year anniversary show last night. That was one of the most fun streams I have had in a long time. Thanks again to Jennifer for being in studio with me and keeping up with the chat. And she's in the chat again. Yes, I've got the logo up on the screen. I figure if I can see my TV screen, might as well use it for something. Thank you, babe, for keeping up with the live chat last night. And thanks again to my very best friends and former co-hosts, Bobby and Chris and Jason. A lot of fun. The chat was pretty lively for a while. Then we kind of went off on some rails. So that audio show is coming soon. I guess let's start with a couple normal things here. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/wrestling with fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything we do here on the Wrestling with Fans podcast. And if you're watching live on YouTube, you already know. Make sure you click that thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're listening to the audio version of the show, make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Got a lot of cool videos up. Just posted another one yesterday. Got some more coming in the very near future. You can follow the show on Instagram at Wrestling with Fans. Been posting some good stuff. I've got a fake hunt video that is being edited right now. Well, I was editing it right up until we started going live. And if you follow us on Instagram, you already know what's in this fig hunt. It is an epic toy haul from this past weekend. So I can't wait for you guys to see that and the crazy Walmart that we found. It's pretty cool. You can check us out on the web at wrestlingwithfans.com. You can download or stream the show at any time. New audio shows are posted every single Thursday morning for now at 6 a.m. We'll get to that announcement in a minute. Or you can take us on the go and download us to your favorite podcast listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, all the big ones. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. And if you want to shoot us an email, you can do so at wwfshow@gmail.com. And now for the big announcement. We are moving, folks. The show is moving, which is going to segue into some of the big news stories we got. So this is not next week, but in 2 weeks, the podcast is moving. We have a new stream schedule starting the week of April 12th, because it's going to be a busy week. So next week is WrestleMania week. So it's going to be a crazy week. And then it's going to lead into just insane madness. So let's run down how this is going to go over the next couple weeks. We're going to get this out of the way at the top of the show. So the stream schedule will be as normal. We'll do the Wednesday, one of the final Wednesday Night War shows tomorrow night. The SmackDown preview Friday. Then next Monday, WrestleMania week is going to be jam-packed. We're going to live stream both nights of WrestleMania, the 10th and the 11th. Then starting April 12th, this is when the new schedule comes in to effect. Mondays, the same time, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live on YouTube for our Monday Night Raw preview. Then on Tuesday, April the 13th, We will be live on Tuesdays from 7:30 to 8 for the NXT preview. That's right, guys. NXT is moving to Tuesday nights starting April the 13th. The Wednesday Night War is over. We're going to break it all down on the show tonight. Then Wednesdays will stay the same, 7:30 to 8 for our AEW Dynamite preview show. So we'll be able to split those shows up. So we'll do a stream for each show. And the podcast will now be recorded at its original day and time, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. About 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And then Fridays will stay the same as well, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. So we are going from 4 nights to 5 nights a week. Now, this is also contingent on a few things, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way now. Wednesdays are the least popular streams that we have. Whether that's just because people don't watch Dynamite and NXT or people are busy on Wednesdays, but Wednesdays always have the lowest view count on the YouTube. They are the quietest stream. So we're going to play it out for a couple weeks. We'll see how Tuesdays and Wednesdays go with Dynamite and NXT. If they end up not being very popular, then what we will do is just kill those nights. So we'll do Monday, Thursday, Friday. I won't stream opposite NXT or Dynamite. But maybe we'll do a fun stream on Tuesday or Wednesday every once in a while, and maybe pick up a day on the weekend if we don't do Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to stream at least 4 days a week for you guys. But we'll see how things go. But as of April 12th, we're going to go with 5 nights a week for a couple weeks just to see how things pan out. So if you guys want to join in on NXT and Dynamite, make sure you tune in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 7:30 to 8 for those special shows right here on the Wrestling with Fans YouTube channel. So let's come back here. Let me do this. Let's bring the chat up. So we got some peeps in the chat. We got a few people in here. Check up. Let's catch up here. I was there for a wee while. I wish I got the whole thing. Hyper Productions, it is all good. The video is on the YouTube channel now. So you want to go back and watch the video, you can watch it, or I'm going to try to get the audio version of the show finished editing tonight and get that uploaded tomorrow or maybe on Thursday. I'll try to get it up tomorrow. So there'll be 2 shows tonight. The 3rd anniversary will be uploaded in audio form, so you can listen to the audio version of the show, as well as this episode right here. I wish I could fig hunt, but Arlene Foster is an arsehole, and we can't go to any non-needed shops. I feel that, Hyper. When I was younger, I didn't always get to hit all the stores I wanted to. I was kind of at the mercy of whichever parent I was with. So I feel your pain, friend. But luckily, there are a lot of opportunities out right now. So hopefully you're able to get out and get a little fig hunting done going from there. All right, let me just check some notifications here. All right, so we got a lot of crazy news stories to talk about today, guys. A lot of crazy news stories. And Jen, thank you for sharing the show, as always. So let's dive into some stuff here, peeps. Let's dive into some things. And one of the big breaking news stories that just broke a couple hours ago, we have the latest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2021. And it is none other than the former captain of the Starship Enterprise. Kind of sounds more like Christopher Walken than Shatner, but she's the first minister of Ireland. Oh, thank you guys. William Shatner, Captain James Tiberius Kirk himself, is the latest inductee into the class of 2021. So the class as it stands now: Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, Kane, the Great Khali, Mr. Hall of Fame Rob Van Dam, and William Shatner. Also included in that class, in the induction ceremony, which will also include the class of 2020, JBL, the British Bulldog, Jushin Thunder Liger, the Bella Twins, and the New World Order members consisting of Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Sean Waltman. So, a lot of Hall of Fame inductions going on. We chatted a lot about the Hall of Fame on last night's stream, so you guys can check that out. Speaking of Hall of Famers, it was announced the other day that Hall of Famer Road Dogg Jesse James, aka Brian James, was in critical condition in the hospital after suffering a heart attack. Now, it was also updated earlier today. This is coming from Jeremy Thomas at 411 Mania. This is a statement from Brian James himself. To God be the glory. I live to tell the story. I'm headed home. I've got some work to do and some changes to make, but I'm up to the task. I want to thank each and every one of you for your thoughts and prayers and your kind words. So many reached out with positive vibes and it overwhelmed me with love. Thank you all, and God is good. Let the journey begin, with a few hashtags. So, best of luck to Road Dogg. It's good to hear that he is doing a little bit better after suffering this heart attack. Hyper Productions, RVD is in there because he is no longer with Impact Wrestling. I believe his contract expired not long ago, so he is technically a free agent. There were some rumors the other week with AEW Revolution that he could be the mystery man. His name was in the hat as one of the mystery men who could potentially show up. So RVD is a free agent, and now's as good a time as any to induct the whole effing show into the whole effing Hall of Fame. But our next story is involving former WWE star Andrade. So Andrade has done his first interview post WWE release. He spoke on Monday with Lucha Libre Online, and I have got some quotes from this interview. There's a lot of good information on it. So says here, he was supposed to put McIntyre over in a strong match, but McIntyre wanted him to come out looking good as well. And he says here, when the pandemic started, they put me with Drew McIntyre. Drew was great with me and behaved well with me in NXT and on the main roster. We had the matches, and a producer came to me and said, make sure Drew looks like a monster because he's the champ. Drew came to me and told me to wrestle how I know to wrestle, saying that he doesn't need me to make him look good, but to wrestle how I wrestle best. He also says that a lot of people treated him well in WWE, including McIntyre and Randy Orton, the latter of whom would ask why WWE wasn't utilizing him. Let's see here if there's any. Says here, Andrade said Charlotte pitched to WWE Creative to make Andrade part of her rivalry with Lacey Evans and her father, Ric Flair. The angle saw Flair turn on his daughter and align with Evans, but it came to an abrupt end in February when Evans announced she was pregnant. It was initially thought to be part of the storyline, but obviously Lacey Evans is legit pregnant in real life. So as a result, the story never progressed through to bring Andrade in, so the Mexican star was left without a spot on the card, and he was ultimately released. There's a lot of other things on there saying at one point that he even turned down $3 million a year. $3 million a year is what his contract was set to be. Absolutely insane. Crazy money. And yes, Hyper, we do need a new RVD Elite. I would love to see a new RVD Elite. But coming out of that, too, it was also noted that Charlotte wanted to speak up for him, but due to fear of any backlash, she decided to hang back. He even told her to hang back. But there's also another story comes out that at one point Charlotte was medically suspended due to pregnancy. And as it turns out, this is not true. So Charlotte Flair's team, and I'm using air quotes here because that's how it's listed, it's from her team. It states here, what Manny said about the pregnancy test in today's interview is true, but a significant amount of context is lost in translation, and we like to clear that up as best we can. A few weeks ago, Charlotte received a call from WWE Medical telling her that her HCG levels had come back high and she was being medically suspended for pregnancy. That day, she took several home tests that all came back negative. A few days later, blood work and an ultrasound confirmed that there was no pregnancy. This was before any issues with COVID. As we've talked about before, she did test positive for COVID and is now medically cleared from COVID, so good for that. And it goes on to say, this put a lot in context for her, mainly how small a woman's career window is. The men are able to work well into their 50s, while the women are seen as older in their early 30s even. For an athlete in her prime, these years mean everything. Her issue was with the process and how the information was relayed as opposed to the information itself. So the TLDR version of this is basically her hormone levels, their routine testing showed that Charlotte was pregnant. As it turns out, she is not. So good to clear that kind of stuff up as well. So that's pretty much the biggest, not the biggest news, but most of the news. But the big news and the main topic of tonight's show, NXT is officially moving to Tuesday nights. And I thought I had this pulled up already, but I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pull up the official press release from WWE. Again, this is from WWE.com. WWE and USA Network today announced a multi-year extension for NXT, which will move to Tuesday nights live on USA Network at 8/7 Central beginning April 13th. As first reported by Variety, the new agreement for the live weekly 2-hour show furthers WWE and USA's nearly 3-decade-long relationship. And it goes on to say here, we are incredibly proud of our 3-decade partnership with WWE and in extending USA's NXT deal. We are further establishing our portfolio as an unrivaled home for quality WWE content, says Francis Berwick, chairman of the Entertainment Network's NBCU. By transitioning NXT to a Tuesday time slot where WWE has performed well in the past, we are giving our passionate fan base more of what they love with back-to-back nights of exhilarating live programming. We've got a quote from Paul Triple H Levesque here. It says, we are thrilled to continue WWE and NBC Universal's long-standing partnership with the extension of NXT on the USA Network. The move to Tuesdays provides a new opportunity for us to grow the NXT brand and enables our partner, USA Network, to continue to build a strong portfolio of sports and entertainment programming. Goes on to say in this article, since launching on the network in September 2019, NXT has lifted USA to rank among the top cable entertainment networks in its regularly Wednesday time slot. In 2020, the weekly block averaged 847,000 total viewers, and its special Tuesday episodes were even stronger, delivering gains of nearly 30% among the key 18 to 49 and 25 to 54 demos. And then it goes on just kind of corporate speak, plugging some of the superstars. All new episodes will be available on demand in the U.S. exclusively on Peacock the day after airing on the USA Network. NXT will continue to emanate from the state-of-the-art Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. And Hyper Productions, it is almost April 1st. We just got a couple days. Speaking of April 1st, and I don't have this, can we hit our subscriber goal? I'll just take a quick pause here because I know last week we got the subs up to 86. Thanks to Suge Gamer and Salome inviting all their friends in. We were up to 86 subs, and the next morning I woke up to check the YouTube stats to see how videos were performing, and it dropped all the way back down to 63. So, and it never even showed in the analytics of the channel that I even went up an extra 20-some subscribers. So I am not sure what happened. I have no idea what went on. But thanks to last night's stream, we are up to 69. So if we can hit 6 more in the next 2 days, it would be really awesome to hit 75 by the end of March. Then it's on to 100. So again, thanks to Suge Gamer for trying to get us up. I'm not sure what happened, but it was a crazy stream last week. We had a lot of new subs that just miraculously disappeared. I don't know what happened, but we're trying to build it back up. We're back up to 69. And I'm just figuring out a way to use 69 as many times tonight. I think they were fake subs that YouTube deleted. That is kind of what I thought as well. That maybe they just wasn't working. I tried to go back and sub to everybody. And I know sometimes if you do like sub for sub, they automatically delete those because that's technically against the terms of service. But I was just trying to repay the favor to everybody who subbed to me. But we won't do that anymore. At least not immediately as they sub to me. So we're going to break down the full-blown Wednesday Night War. Who won? Who won the Wednesday Night War? Because if you want my opinion, there's going to be a lot of differing opinions on this. And I get that. That's fine. There's going to be a lot of differing opinions on who actually won the Wednesday Night War. For me personally, the fans won the Wednesday Night War. And I'll go into more detail why. You're going to get your hardcore AEW marks, your hardcore AEW fans, the guys who just eat, breathe, and shit AEW are going to say, AEW won. Which, I mean, I guess technically they did, but this is more political than anything. We talked about it last fall that NBC Universal is shutting down the NBC Sports Network. As of this fall, I think October 2021 is when the NBC Sports Channel is shutting down. And one of the biggest draws to NBC Sports is the NHL's Wednesday night hockey game. So with NBC Sports shutting down, all of those games are going to be moved to USA Network, which will completely counter NXT's Wednesday night time slot. So if WWE and USA wanted to keep NXT on the network, they were going to have to move nights. And I haven't talked about this yet, but I think it was last week or the week before, in a preemptive strike to this news, Impact Wrestling, who has been airing on Tuesday nights, has returned to their classic Thursday night time slot. AEW isn't in Ireland yet. That's kind of crazy. You'd think after a year plus, they would be pretty global at this point. That's kind of weird to find out. But yeah, Impact is back on its original Thursday night time slot, which is really cool because if you think about it, starting April 12th, there will be 5 nights of big league professional wrestling on our television sets. You'll have Monday Night Raw from 8 to 11 Eastern on every Monday. Tuesdays from 8 to 10 Eastern will be NXT in their new home. AEW Dynamite will stay on Wednesdays from 8 to 10. And then Impact Wrestling, which I'm not sure if it's 8 to 9 or 8 to 10. I haven't really followed Impact Wrestling in a while. I believe they're still a 2-hour show. I believe they're 8 to 10. So they'll be on 8 to 10 in direct competition to the Wrestling with Fans live stream, which is fine. And then Friday, SmackDown on Fox, 8 to 10. So you're going to have 5 consecutive nights, 5 weekday nights with professional wrestling action. The fans win in this, guys. There's no other way to put it. Now, if you look at the numbers, if you look at the ratings, AEW has won the overall viewership, and I wish I had time to do a little more research today, but they won the overall viewership the majority of the time. I think NXT might have won maybe a dozen or so in total viewerships, but I don't think AEW, the entire year and a half they've gone head-to-head with NXT, have lost that coveted 18 to 49 demo. AEW has dominated the 18 to 49 demo every single week, even when NXT's won in the ratings overall. And when the shows have been preempted, I know there's been nights where NXT did like the Super Tuesday specials and their numbers went up. When Dynamite has had to move nights for other things, like for NBA stuff, their numbers went up on a different night, and NXT's numbers went up on Wednesday night. So both products are going to prosper. Because the one thing, especially for somebody like me who, I mean, I'm a diehard NXT fan. I've been an NXT guy since their inception. I love NXT. They're my favorite wrestling product on television at the moment. Salome, welcome to the chat, man. Thanks for dropping in. And I was very anti AEW at the beginning, and I've talked about this openly. They promised us a more sport-like feel, and to me, it felt like a cheap knockoff. I did not like their early days, but what I did was I gave them a second chance about 9 months in. I've really enjoyed AEW's product in the last probably 4 or 5 months. So for me on Wednesdays, when I finish the preview show, it is extremely difficult to pick what I want to watch. I channel flip between NXT and AEW. And for you younger guys out there who didn't get a chance to live through the Monday Night War, every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, you had to decide which show you wanted to watch. Checking out what you want. TW, welcome in. Yeah, glad I could hop in for a few minutes while I was prepping for the show tonight. Again, congrats on not only 50 but hitting 80 subs. Congratulations. That's a big number, man. You're almost to 100. You're almost to that 100 goal. I know you're going to hit it soon. But there were many Monday nights where what I would do is I would record Nitro and watch Raw live. And then when they started showing the replay, what I would do is I would watch Raw from 8 to 10. And then from 10 to midnight, I would watch the Nitro replay, because on TNT, they would play Nitro live from 8 to 10, and then they would go again from 10 to midnight. So from 8 till midnight, I would watch wrestling. 4 hours every Monday night. But it was good stuff back then. It wasn't like, these 3-hour Raws that slog. And yes, we are going to talk about that train wreck that was Raw last night. We're going to chat about that here in a little bit. But every Monday night for 5 or 6 years, I was channel flipping. Except for maybe like the last 9 months of WCW, where the product was so unwatchable, I would record it on VHS. So this is like 2000 to 2001. I recorded on VHS. I would watch Raw live, and then I would, usually on Tuesdays, I'd go back and I'd watch Nitro and just kind of fast forward through it and just tape over the weeks before show. But Mondays, back in the Attitude Era, everybody loves to reminisce about the Attitude Era. But that was like one of the coolest times to be a wrestling fan, because you had Raw and Nitro going head to head. Shots were fired across the lines. It was a crazy time to be a wrestling fan, but it forced the other, company to be better. And I think that's what helped, increase the overall eyes on professional wrestling. At one point, there were 10 million people watching professional wrestling every single Monday night. 10 million people watching wrestling every Monday night. And now Raw can't crack 2 million. NXT and Dynamite are hovering just under 1 million, sometimes even as maybe as 500,000. SmackDown pulls in a little bit over 2 million, but they're on a network, a network channel where everybody else is on cable. But Monday Night Raw and WCW Nitro were garnering over 10 million viewers every week. That is insane to think about. And that was only 25 years ago, 24 years ago. It's just crazy to see the landscape of professional wrestling. I mean, I've been a fan my entire life. This is going to really age myself, but I went to my very first live wrestling show. It was at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, where like the Washington Capitals and the Washington Bullets used to play. It was March 30th, 1986. I was 4 years old. It was right before my 5th birthday. And apparently I watched it even younger than that. But I went to my first live show when I was 4, and I've been hooked ever since. I've seen a lot of I was watching at the birth of Hulkamania, and I'm still watching today. And I just got to say, this is probably the second best time to be a wrestling fan. Because as bad as Raw is, and again, we're going to talk about this last night's Raw, which was just trash panda stuff. You got 5 nights of wrestling. 5 nights of wrestling. Raw on Mondays, NXT Tuesdays, AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays, Impact, if you like Impact, which they're doing some good things, I just haven't watched. They're doing good stuff. They got the crossover with AEW going. They're on Thursdays, and SmackDown, which to me is the second best, maybe third best show. I'd put Dynamite ahead of SmackDown, but not by much. SmackDown is on Fridays. Let's go back to the chat here. TEW says, thank you, man. It means a lot. I invited Downfall and Nate. Thanks to Downfall, he put a video before to check it out. At one time, I had 23 people watching. I had a lot of fun. That is awesome, man. I caught probably the last 10, 15 minutes of it. I just hopped on to start setting up the stream for tonight, and I just seen you were live, so I figured I'd hop in, just say a quick congrats, and I listened to the rest of the show in the background while I was setting up. But again, congratulations again on 50 and hitting 80. Hopefully I can get up to 80 here soon. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But, a lot of people are going to talk about AEW winning the Wednesday Night War because they're staying on Wednesdays. NXT is the program that is moving. But I think it's more a political thing with, NBC Universal putting Wednesday Night Hockey on USA, which is great. I'm a huge hockey fan. I love my Pittsburgh Penguins. But the fans overall win. In my personal opinion, the fans won the Wednesday Night War because even when both shows were on, it forced NXT to put out better stuff. It forced Dynamite to progressively get better, which I think they had. I thought the show was garbage at first, and they've progressively gotten a lot better over the last year and a half. So it forced them to be better. It forced NXT to get better. And we as fans won even when both shows are on Wednesday. But we're definitely winning now that they are on separate nights. You don't have to channel flip. You don't have to choose a program. You can watch whatever you want. Jump back to the chat here. Hyper says, I can't wait for my birthday. When is your birthday, Hyper Productions? TW says, you definitely will get tons of subs. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words. It's been a grind. Happy Gilmore Hockey. But again, thanks to Bobby, who started the show with me 3 years ago. Appreciate that. And then Chris coming in later on for a good stay. And then Jason, who comes in off and on. He is very busy. He is an actual college professor. My best friend of 35 years is a college professor. So he is a very busy man. So I'm very glad he's able to make some time every once in a while to hop in. And, of course, my wonderful and beautiful, by the way, girlfriend, Jennifer, who has filled in from time to time, who I've kind of strong-armed back into wrestling. Your birthday is the 4th of July. Hyper Productions, you share a young Irish lad sharing a birthday with America. We got the red, white, and blue Under Armour. America. Speaking of that, I guess I'll segue. Let me know who you guys think won the Wednesday Night War. It's not enough in the comments if you're watching live. Message us on Facebook. Comment on the video after the fact. Email us, wwfshow@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I would love at some point, hopefully in the nearer future than the distant future, do like a mailbag segment. Answering questions. If you have a question in the middle of the week when I'm not live, shoot us an email. Hyper says NXT. That's a bold statement, Cop. I'd love to do like a listener mailbag segment. Maybe like we'll do a live stream just answering questions, like a Q&A kind of question thing. But some cool things coming down the pipeline. I'll take a quick pause from the regular stream. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play a video for you guys here in a minute. Then we're going to come back and talk about Raw and end the stream. But the plan, fingers crossed. What's a mailbag? Hyper Productions. A mailbag is, this is kind of something I've kind of seen. I subscribe to PW Torch, Wade Keller over at Pro Wrestling Torch. I've been a VIP subscriber for a while. What he does, is he will take listener, email. So people will email in, or they'll message in questions, where they talk about it long form and answer it. So I would think it would be a cool stream maybe to do like at the end of the week kind of deal. Like if you see something on Raw, you can shoot us a message or an email and let us know what you think. We can bring it up later on. We'll see how it goes. These are just ideas I have. I want to expand this stuff a lot. But one thing we were gonna do, if I can make the technical side of this part work. Last summer, I built a fire pit out in my backyard, a nice brick fire pit, and a lot of the summer, myself and Jen and Jason and Chris. Bobby doesn't live close to us, but Jason and Chris were here with us, and we would sit around my fire pit and just BS for hours on end on the weekends. So what we would like to do, now if you guys are followers of Sleeping Collectibles, is awesome dude on YouTube. He does fireside chats with a fireplace in his house. I would love to do fire pit chats, where you got the four of us sitting outside around the fire pit talking wrestling. I don't know how I'll get electricity out there and computers and cameras and microphones to make it work, but we're going to try to make it work. We're going to see if we can't figure something out to make these fire pit chats, fireside chats, whatever we call it, would be cool. Oh, all right. Well, I'll jump back to the chat here and we'll jump back in. It says here, we definitely talk more positively about AEW and negatively about WWE. We talked about how good NXT was building up stars. WWE overall is bad. Raw has been garbage. And again, we're going to touch on Raw here in a little bit. NXT is great. They are doing a good job of trying to build stars. Unfortunately, when those men and women hit Raw or SmackDown, they're completely just buried. Hype Production says it's because AEW isn't in Ireland. I have to watch YouTube, or that's time. Because I agree. Yeah, it kind of sucks. AEW isn't in Ireland yet. I feel kind of bad. I think AEW is catered more towards like a younger audience. They kill it in the 18 to 49 demo. The over 50 demo NXT kills, or the over 55 demo. So NXT, older fans like myself. I mean, I'm not 55. I'll be 40 in May. Older fans seem to like NXT, and the younger crowd is kind of catering to AEW. So hopefully, you're able to get it in Ireland here soon. TEW says, I don't agree with how NXT has used Kushida. I agree. I was super stoked when NXT brought in Kushida. Even when they brought in Alex Shelley and they had the time splitters for like a minute. It was like they didn't really do much with him. However, they have started to use him a little bit better here recently. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this turns the corner for him a little bit. And they start using him a little bit better. And yes, we are at 70 subs. Hyper Production just got one of my 2 subs to get you to 70. Thank you so much. We hit 70. And again, I don't know why my alerts aren't going off that I got a sub and that my goal counter isn't going up. And TW, yes, sleeping is awesome. I'd like to hopefully meet up with him one day. He only lives about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from me. So when I travel west, I go out towards his way. So hopefully one day maybe we can meet up, maybe do a collab video at some point. He is killing it over on YouTube right now. He is absolutely killing it. And it's so cool to see someone in just such a short time just blow up he has, man. Nothing but success to him. Seth Shathurya. I hope I say your name right. If not, I apologize. I am bad at butchering names. I'm very bad at butchering names. Just ask Salome. I butchered his name for like 2 weeks. Says Hyper says here, Vince Gurr, we need more beefier boys slapping me. Yes, got to get the beefy boys slapping at me. But yeah, like I said, new subscriber, the Stop Motion Boy. The Stop Motion Boy, thank you for subbing. Teriyaki 69 was a superior number. Yes, I agree. I would love to be able, I may just leave my counter at 69 for a while. 69 is a far superior number. I said it right. Thank you. I'm glad I said that right. Good. Like I said, sometimes I butcher names. So I always like to apologize the first time I try to announce someone here in the chat. So welcome to the stream, man. TW says Kushida was an NJPW World Champion, so I think Kushida hasn't even won a belt in NXT. Like, how do you turn a star into a beltless jobber? Speaking of New Japan, have you guys seen the New Japan World Title? I'll see if I can pull up a picture while I'm going to play a figure unboxing here in just a couple minutes. Take a quick pause in the show. But the New Japan World Title is atrocious. I am not a fan. Not a fan at all. TW says, someone in my life said Vince was an old teacher, would never change their ways. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, at 75, Vince, and I've talked about this on the show before too. I think Vince is out of touch with the current wrestling fan. But in his defense, and I as a wrestling fan, it's hard to see this. But in his defense, and I think I might have talked about this last week or the week before, WWE is a business. There's shareholders, there's sponsors, and they have to make them happy. And to do so, they have to cater their product to the people that are going to spend that money and increase their stock prices. Now, and I've said, like, the internet wrestling community, the IWC, is a toxic community at times. There's a lot of great people in it, but there's a lot of toxic people too. WWE is going to cater to those families. They're going to cater to the moms and dads who are going to bring little Jimmy and little Sally to a live show in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, spend $40 on a ticket, and then drop, like $300 on merch for shirts and all that stuff. Chris, my man, in the chat, Kushida should have went all elite. There's still time. There's still time. Still time. I think he'd probably be better utilized in AEW, but they are starting to accumulate a large roster of talent themselves. So I don't even like with someone like Christian. Where is he really going to be talking about? Chris, we just brought it up. We just brought up the IWGP title. It looks, and just like TW says, Downfall told me it looked like the Divas Championship. Let me pull that up real quick. Give me 1 sec here, guys. Let's pull up the brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Give me 1 second here to set up a window capture for it. Let me set this up. I'll bring this up for everybody to see. Because it's not very good. I don't like it at all. So give me 1 sec here, guys. Just gonna try to clean this up a little bit so we get a nice big image of the IWGP title. All right, let's bring this in here. This is your brand new IWGP World Championship. Oops, I need to leave it up there. That is the new IWGP title. So a lot of people I've seen the memes in the groups. It does kind of look like a shaped like the Divas title with the butterfly wings. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided it was time for a new belt design. I was a huge fan of the classic IWGP Heavyweight Championship. It kind of looks, if the WWE made a modern Divas title, this would be it. It's on a white strap. It's gold and silver like every WWE women's belt. It's got kind of like the wing shape. There's a lot of people roasting it online. Hyper Productions, I don't know if it's too small. It's hard to tell the size of it. And actually, I think it's quite big. I believe it is a large belt. Let me see. Okay, there you can see what it actually looks like around his waist. Again, let me try to clean this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. There you go. It's actually not that small in the grand scheme of things. Not that small. It's just ugly. I don't really like it. But this is a good time. Where's the color? It looks like a goldish slab of nothing. I agree. Here it looks like it's on a black strap, but the other picture it was on a white strap. So I don't know if that was just the flashes or what, but I am not a fan of this belt design. A lot of other people aren't a fan of this belt design. So I don't know. We'll see how we'll see how it looks in real time at the next New Japan show. But we're gonna take a quick pause here. I'm gonna play the brand new figure unboxing video that just went live on the channel. And thanks to everybody who's checked it out and commented on it so far. It has been the best performing video we've had in several weeks. So thank you guys for that. But for those who may have missed it, we probably won't stay through the whole video. But we are going to watch Alpha versus Omega. It is AEW Series 1, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega figure unboxing. We'll be back in just a couple minutes right here on Wrestling with Fans. YouTube, Kyle here from Wrestling with Fans, back with a figure unboxing video. And we got a double header in this one today. I was able to find Series 1 AEW figures on the pegs. Got Kenny Omega and Le Champion Chris Jericho. The only two from Series 1 that I found on the pegs, but I found them nonetheless. The first time I've seen Series 1 in the wild since these figures have been released. We're going to crack them open. We're going to take a closer look. But first, let's take a look at the packaging. We'll start with the current AEW champion, Kenny Omega. Now, a lot of people have complained, and we'll talk about it a little more when we get him out of the package, of the skin tone. But again, I've said this in every AEW figure unboxing. I love the packaging on these figures. He is number 2 in Series 1. Got the logo there. Take a look at the back here. This is actually from their match at Double or Nothing in Las Vegas in 2019. You can see who else is in this wave. Got Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. Brandy might be the rarest figure ever. I don't think anybody's ever found her in the wild that I've seen. If you found Brandy in the wild, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to know. And of course, we have Le Champion, Chris Jericho, AEW on this side. He is number 6 in this series. Again, this is from his match with Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. We already know who's in this wave. Again, you know how we do here on the channel. We're going to let them breathe. Let's crack these bad boys open right now. And just like that, guys, there you have it. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Let's take a closer look. Again, let's start with Kenny Omega. He does have the grapple hand, mic holding hand, and the pointer finger on. Also does come with an extra mic holding hand and the other little gun finger. Let's take a closer look here. Now, I think the face scan's not bad. Now, this is Kenny when he kind of had the old man gray hair. But the overall, the face scan is not too bad. I don't think it's horrible. I do think the new one, and I think wave 4 or 5, losing track, does look a lot better. He does come with the rubber jacket. We'll see if we can't pop this off. Take a closer look at it and Kenny himself. Now, I do prefer soft goods jackets and things like that, but, you know, costs. You would think that soft goods would probably be cheaper to produce, and he has hand condom on. Wow. I pulled one off of this hand out of the package when I was setting up the shop, but Kenny Omega does come with a hand condom. There we we go. And we'll toss that away. Okay. Let's take a closer look here. Now, if you look, I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but his arm here and his chest, this is a more of a shade of pink. This is more of like skin tone. The skin tone is just a shade different here, but that's been a known issue with these early AEW figures. And you could always take it apart, repaint it, put a better skin tone on it if you want. You know, it does look to be fixed to the new Kenny Omega that's coming up, but let's look at the attire here. It's got the nice kick pads. Knee pads are not molded on, which always good. It's got the K Omega there, the one-winged angel over there, the Omega symbol on the butt. Pretty cool. Let's look at the jacket. One sleeve, and it does have the one wing on the back. Got the pink accents on that. The jacket's really cool. I mean, I really like the figure, but again, you know, there are some issues with it. This have the silver gauntlet there. Looks pretty cool. I'm just excited to actually have a Kenny Omega figure. I think I've said this in my other AEW figure unboxing videos that I wasn't originally going to collect AEWs, but I found all of Series 2 in the wild one day, and I bought them all, and now I'm kind of hooked now. We'll hop back in here. Figure I'd give y'all a sneak peek. So if you haven't checked that video already, it is on the channel right now. So the last thing I want to talk about on this episode is Raw. Well, two things. We're going to talk about the WrestleMania card right now. We'll touch on that at the very end. Where we stand, WrestleMania is coming up. Not going to get too in-depth on Raw. I did not watch live. Obviously, we were live streaming, but I'll watch some clips, listen to some recap listen to some recap shows this morning. And I'll just say RIP to the Hurt Business. The best thing of 2020 will not survive 2021. The Hurt Business is over. MVP and Bobby Lashley have kicked Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander out of the Hurt Business. And none of it makes a lot of sense. You know, they lost the tag titles. Then they lost the 2-on-1 handicap match to Drew last week. So since his lackeys couldn't get the job done, he is now outsourcing to the locker room, to the catering crew, to the 24/7 crew, which is kind of a joke. I'm not a fan of the Hurt Business breaking up. I don't know what WWE has against teams surviving and lasting. Anytime they get something good as a group, they break it up. Maybe it has to do with the WrestleMania match. Now with with Cedric and Shelton out of the Hurt Business, I mean, technically the Hurt Business is barred from ringside, but if they're not in the Hurt Business, they could come in and still maybe interfere. We'll see. But it does nothing for Lashley. I don't think it puts him in a good light. Because if you did have Cedric and Shelton still, you know, you could use them to... And I didn't like the fact that they did, they're barred from ringside. Which makes me kind of wonder where this match is going to go in WrestleMania. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do. My initial thought was, they were going to get Drew the title back in front of a live crowd. But, a lot of people love the Hurt Business. And I'm wondering if they make Lashley look like kind of a dick by kicking Cedric and Shelton to the curb, that it's going to make him look more like a heel as opposed to getting any cheers. They're going to want Drew to get all the cheers. But to be perfectly honest, my honest opinion is that everybody's going to get cheered at WrestleMania because it's going to be the first time anybody has seen a live wrestling show in person in over a year. So I think there's going to be a lot of people getting cheers that might not normally get cheers because people are just going to be happy to see everybody, in person for the first time in a year. Hyper says here, I'm telling you, Vince wants oldies and beefies. He loves them beefy boys slapping meat. And then there was that scene where Matt Riddle pretty much forgot his line and just scooted off when talking to Asuka. It's kind of bad. The whole segment with Shane and Elias and Jackson Riker was just dumb. Shane McMahon just needs to go away and stay away for real. Miz and Morrison and Bad Bunny. That's about all I need to say about that. However, I did hear something the other day that could explain the change in the WrestleMania match. We've talked about it for a while on the show. We all thought it was going to be Miz and Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, but apparently Damian Priest and John Morrison are dealing with minor injuries at the moment. So there's still time to make it a tag match if both are medically cleared to wrestle. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that was just bad. Shutting search again. The New Day game night and AJ. I mean, it was okay. I love the New Day. I love AJ Styles. Good stuff there. The whole tag thing with the women, just no. Shayna Baszler losing in like 2 minutes to Naomi is just no. I hate what they've done with Shayna Baszler. I despise what they've done with Shayna Baszler. I love Shayna Baszler. Drew destroyed Ricochet. Whatever. The stuff with Orton and The Fiend. Blah, blah, blah. Raw was bad. That's all I got to say. If they can't put enough effort into Raw on Monday nights, I'm not going to put any effort into reviewing Raw on Tuesdays and soon Thursday nights. So let's break down the current WrestleMania card. We'll break that down. We'll run down everything, and then we're gonna close up shop tonight. As it stands, there are 12 matches announced for WrestleMania currently. There's 6 on Saturday, 6 on Sunday. Night 1, Saturday, April the 10th. We are going to get Bobby Lashley defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. We are getting Sasha Banks defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. We are also going to get the New Day defending the Raw Tag titles against AJ Styles and Omos. Bad Bunny versus The Miz, 1-on-1 on night 1. You got Cesaro taking on Seth Rollins, which could be a show stealer for the weekend. That could be a show stealer for the weekend. They're going to be on night 1. And finally, on night 1, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage. Night 2, Sunday, April 11th. WrestleMania Sunday. We're getting the triple threat match for the Blue Universal title. Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, your head of the table, defending the title against Edge and Daniel Bryan. It is now a triple threat match officially. Asuka will defend the Raw Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. Big E is defending the Intercontinental Championship in a Fastlane rematch against Apollo Crews. Matt Riddle defending the U.S. title against Sheamus. So 4 big title matches on Sunday. We are also getting The Fiend versus Randy Orton. No word if that's going to be a regular match or a cinematic match. We'll see how things play out. And finally, in the endless feud that will never end, Kevin Owens going 1-on-1 with Sami Zayn. So that is your WrestleMania card as it stands on March 30th. There's still time. Again, I'm expecting a men's battle royal one night. We may get the women's battle royal. There's so many women missing right now, unless they bring in some, legends like they did for the Royal Rumble to fill out a 20-woman roster for the battle royal. But there's a lot of people not on the card. We'll break that down in another stream. Let's see where else we are at. right now too. Let's break this down because I think this could be really good. On Wednesday and Thursday, April 7th and 8th, we have the 2-night takeover Stand and Deliver. Night 1, April 7th, Io Shirai defending the NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez. Due to the injury, the NXT tag titles are vacant. We're going to get a triple threat match to crown new NXT tag team champions. MSK taking on the grizzled young veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. Should be a fire tag match. And a match I think this could also potentially steal the weekend. For the NXT UK Championship, Walter defending the title against Tommaso Ciampa. That is going to be a hard-hitting match. And finally, night 1, a 6-man gauntlet eliminator to determine the number 1 contender for the North American Championship. So the winner of this match will take on Johnny Gargano, Mr. Takeover, on night 2, April the 8th. We are also going to see Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Karrion Kross. We got a ladder match to determine the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Jordan Devlin, who due to the pandemic was unable to defend the title for about a year, is back with his belt, taking on the current / interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Santos Escobar. And what will be my most anticipated match of the entire WrestleMania week, in an unsanctioned match, Kyle O'Reilly going one-on-one with Adam Cole, baby. Takeover's starting to build up. It could be a fire week in wrestling. Let's go to the chat one last time. Hyper Sisters, there's no reason to get the WrestleMania 36 because it only has the ref hands. And like, Brad, what am I going to do with that? Yes. Congratulations on getting the shout out from My Damn Toys, man. That's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool thing to have there. All right. So that's going to do it, guys. Let's run down all the fun stuff. We're going to wrap the show up here. Facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk, smash that like button to keep up to date with everything we do here at Wrestling with Fans. If you're watching live on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. We're at 70 subscribers. We want to hit 75 by the end of the month. So we need 5 more by tomorrow night. Maybe we can do it, maybe not. If not, we're going to push towards that goal in April, get 100. If you're listening to the audio version of the show, make sure you go to youtube.com, search Wrestling with Fans Podcast, click the blue logo, and then click that subscribe button for some fun wrestling content here on the Wrestling with Fans Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling with Fans. Again, I got that Fig Hunt video from this past weekend. If you're following us on Instagram, you already know. You already know what we got. It was an epic toy haul. I hope to have that video out tomorrow, maybe Thursday. We'll see how things play out. I got to finish editing it. You can also check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. Download or stream the shows at any time. New audio podcasts are uploaded every single Thursday morning, for now, at 6 a.m. Or you can take us on the go and download us to your favorite podcast listening device. You can find us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. And finally, if you'd like to shoot us an email, if you can't join us live, don't have the ability to chat, shoot us an email. We'll read them on the air. I'd love to hear from the fans. Questions, comments, anything like that. wwfshow@gmail.com. And finally, starting April 12th, the week after WrestleMania, we've got a new streaming schedule coming for you. Every Monday, starting April the 12th, just like always, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern, it's our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. The big news of NXT moving to Tuesday, starting April 13th. We are going live 7:30 to 8 p.m. for our NXT preview stream, starting April 13th. Then on Wednesdays, it's going to be 7:30 to 8, just like always. However, now it's going to be 30 minutes dedicated to AEW Dynamite. Looking forward to that. And then starting April the 16th. April. Wait a minute. Let me see what. I got to get the date right because I can't count. April the 15th. Starting April 15th, this live stream for the live recording of the Wrestling with Fans podcast is moving to Thursday nights, the original time slot of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. We used to live stream on Facebook every Thursday. We're going back to Thursdays. It's the stop motion guy. Thank you for subbing, man. Thank you for being number 70 on the channel. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Thursdays, starting the 15th of April, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, for a live recording of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. And staying the same as always, Fridays, 7:30 to 8 p.m. for our SmackDown preview show. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. Thank you to everybody joining live in the chat on YouTube tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks again to everybody who joined last night for our 3-year anniversary special. Thank you again to Bobby and Chris and Jason and Jennifer for joining in and making that a fun stream. Thanks to everybody who joined in live and enjoyed our antics. I noticed after a while that the viewers kind of went down. I warned everybody ahead of time. It wasn't going to be a typical wrestling stream. It wasn't going to be a typical Wrestling with Fans stream. It was just 5 friends hanging out, catching up. And when we get together, we chat. It can go anywhere. And it did go just about everywhere. We did some cool figure unboxings on the live stream. I unboxed my Malcolm Dream, the Thoreau, if you will, and my Grand Admiral Thrawn Star Wars Black Series for all you Star Wars fans out there. But again, got some cool things coming. Might try to, like I said, we might try some fire pit chats. If I can get the technology to work, we're going to make it happen. And also, Chris and I talked, we haven't gone fig hunting in a while. Maybe we'll do a cool fig hunt, a dual fig hunt video with Chris, because he's a hardcore fig hunter. So maybe we'll get some cool stuff coming from that as well. But that's going to do it for episode 148. Again, my humble opinion, the fans won the Wednesday Night War in the long run. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Smash the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks to everybody who subbed. We hit 70 tonight. But this is the end. Once again, my name is Kyle. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. This has been Wrestling with Fans.